You got 27 million Africans in the Congo, displaced, environmental issues, hunger, poor health care. You got 1 million Ethiopians who've been murdered. You got Sudanese who have died. Ain't nobody said nothing about the Sudanese. Ain't nobody said nothing about the Ethiopians. Ain't nobody said nothing about the Congolese. But you want me to cry tears for the Arabs? Listen, I hope the Arabs in the West Bank in Gaza, I hope they get all they get. I hope they are protected. I hope nobody dies. I hope those babies' lives are safe. I hope the women are cared for. I hope that there's no bloodshed, no violence. But if you think I'm going to take time out of struggling for African people, if you think I'm going to stop my agenda to liberate my people to go cry for people who don't cry for me, if you think I'm going to stop what I'm doing and pay attention to what's going on over there when y'all don't even pay attention to what's going on in Africa. Y'all don't pay attention to what's going on in Ethiopia. Y'all don't pay attention to what's going on in the Congo. The greatest humanitarian crisis in the world is in the Congo, not the West Bank. I said the greatest humanitarian crisis in the world is in the Congo, not the West Bank, not the Gaza Strip, not Israel, but in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So don't tell me I got to cry for whites and browns. I'm crying for black people. And I don't care who don't like it.
People came to me like, yo, you need to respond to Dr. Umar. You need to explain, you need to break down why he's wrong. And I thought about it for a long time. And I said, you know what? Most of what Dr. Umar said, I agree with. First of all, he said, I hope people there are safe. I hope they get justice. I hope they get what they deserve. But I can't stop working for my people in order to struggle somewhere else when no one is struggling for us. Now, my vision of solidarity is different to the extent that I believe, as part of my political analysis, I'm still coming back to Cheesecake Factory. Don't worry, y'all. I believe when it comes to my political analysis, I believe that we can't get free unless we have a unified front and a unified bond. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with black organizers and black activists saying, I'm going to prioritize my home. I'm going to prioritize my struggle. I'm going to prioritize my issues. He's also pointed out, Dr. Umar also pointed out that, what did he say? He said that the issues going on in the Congo, issues going on in the Sahara, issues going on around the globe don't get coverage. I think that's right. There's a way that Palestine is a cause celeb. There's a way that Palestine gets talked about that other issues on the continent of Africa don't get talked about. We can't normalize the idea that black folk don't have problems worth addressing. Sudan right now, their struggle. Haiti right now, their struggle. We can't ignore the fact that those are pressing and critical issues. We must deal with that as well. And so if Dr. Umar says, look, I'm going to focus on Congo, I'm going to focus on the United States, I stand in solidarity with the people struggling in Gaza, but I'm going to work here for my people. I can't get mad at that. Now, he said that those people don't care about us or that there's some racism there. I think that's where we have to get a little more granular. We got to get down to the nitty gritty. I think there is a long tradition of Palestinians in particular standing with black folk. There is a tradition of Palestinians standing up and speaking out. In Ferguson, they stood up and they spoke out. We were trading tips. They were tweeting us. People like Mariam Barghouti were sending notes out, telling us how to clean our eyes and how to make makeshift gas masks and how to stay away from police and stay safe. We were talking to each other. We've done delegations. We've done international and transnational solidarity projects to stop the deadly exchange of law enforcement between the United States and Israel. We've done some of that work. When you go back and look at Huey P. Newton in refugee camps in Lebanon with Palestinians, when you look at Palestinian poets and political prisoners who are reading George Jackson, there is a connection there. And so I don't ever want to say that there's no connection. But Dr. Umar made a great point, man. He's talking about racism. We also have to address anti-black racism in the Palestinian community, in the Arab community. We have to address Islamophobia in the black community. We have to talk about these things and not pretend that it is, that there's this warm, perfect, romantic relationship between these groups. And let's also be honest about the stakes. this being a Palestinian and speaking up for black freedom, saying Black Lives Matter or affirming the life of George Floyd, that's an important thing. But standing up for black people doesn't get you fired from a TV job. It doesn't get you blacklisted. It doesn't get you put on a list that makes it impossible for you to get a job outside of college. Standing up for black people doesn't get you labeled anything as close to a nasty epithet as anti-Semite. There's a way that standing up for black people should happen because it's the right thing to do, but it's also much easier to do. When black people stand up here for Palestinian folk, when they challenge Zionism, they're paying a heavy price, and sometimes the price that they're paying compromises their ability to struggle for their own people. So some of y'all like come out here and disagree with Umar or challenge Umar. Dr. Umar is correct. He's right to say, I'm going to center my people in my struggle. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I don't disagree with my brother on those points.